real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-how on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor and co-founder of B Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify distressed real estate, renovate it, and resell for profit. With over 15 years of investing experience, B Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, fix and flips, and rental acquisitions. B Premier's current portfolio consists of properties within Florida and Virginia. Our firm services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bpremierventures.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. B Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Let's Do It Talk Show. It's your girl, Ladrine Howard Peterson, the CEO and founder of Do It, delivering on ideas and thoughts. And you know what I do in a nutshell, right? I help to turn dreamers into doers, and I do it from two aspects. I do it from the aspect of career development, resume writing, interview preparation. You're looking to switch jobs. You have an issue on your job. I am your girl. Then I also do it from a business aspect. If you're looking to start a business, you have some ideas and thoughts and don't know how to bring them into fruition, or if you have a business and you're looking for different ways to expand it, maybe expand your marketing strategy or your product line, guess what? I am your girl. And then, I also have, and I dabble and dabble into this life coaching thing, so you will be hearing about that more and more. So today, oh my goodness, today our topic is it's an inside job. It's so much stuff that's going on, but we're going to talk about how so many times we are looking at external factors when a lot of times it's an inside job. So you know what I do before I get started, before I jump all into the topic, I talk about my weekend. So this weekend, I had the opportunity to be the MC for a wonderful, wonderful conference, which now we named it an experience, but it was the Exhale Virtual Experience, and it was wonderful. For cooking, oh y'all, so yes, I threw down. I threw down a little bit. So it's cold, right? Looking for a hearty meal, chicken noodle soup with some cornbread on the side. I made some homemade chicken noodle soup, and it was delicious. Quick story. My daughter told me my grandson was sick, so I made some chicken noodle soup. He got well. She called me for it today. It was a wrap. It was gone. But I also made a second version of the chicken, some grilled chicken. So I'm going to make another pot of it, and it's going to be real chicken noodle soup. So y'all just watch what your girl doing and watch what's going on, because I've been in the kitchen throwing down. And then at the event, our co-host Saka Joiz, she was on the panel. The panel was amazing, and brought fire, just talking about what do we do to breathe again. And I had a ball moderating that portion. And then the overall conference, point blank, so it was Friday, and it was Friday night. We had a pajama party, and then it was a half a day on Saturday. Great. So huge shout out to Pastor Vita McCoy. She brought the fire. She brought it in. And also to my partner in crime, Latasha Briscoe, event planner. She event planned extraordinary, did a wonderful job. And I love working with her because she sets up everything for me. Great engagement. which is kind of like, oh, it was so timely for the topic that we have that's going on, because it's so much that has been going on in the world, like the whole entire 2020. My God, if we didn't get lessons from that, then something we really need to take a look at that, because it was so much stuff that was going on, so much unrest, racism, and now we was waiting for the clock to tick. Like, come on, 2021. Come on, 2021. And 2021 is here. Yeah. And look at what we're going through. And it's even at a more detrimental level, because we know the pandemic, we couldn't see it. So we're running from something that we can't see, right? If we blind, like, with that going on. But at the conference, they talked about how it took away our breath, right? It was attacking our breath. So then you go on to this, what's going on. The United States Capitol. Like, I couldn't even believe it. I could not believe it at all. And the crazy thing is, I was on my way to Johns Hopkins. Every which direction I went, I kept getting stuck in traffic. And I was like, what is going on? When I saw the Army trucks, I was like, let me see what's going on. Embarrassment to our entire country. They had Instagram pages and notes where in every language, in every country, they were talking about the United States and what was going on. And not to mention the embarrassment from that state, but also the volatile state that puts us in. When other nations know that you're going through something where it's almost like an internal war, like a civil war, so to speak, they know that you're weak because you're not together, that they'll be able to overtake us. So I was very disturbed about that. And I don't watch the news. As I was telling you all, I don't really watch the news. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the topic. So let's do some introductions, because I'm all like ready to get to talking about this, and then we're going to jump into it. So tonight is not other than Money Making Monday. And I got my Money Making Monday mamas with me. Hashtag Shanae. So let's go ahead and do some introductions. Can we start with you first, Janice Bowles?
Hello, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2021. My name is Janice Bowles. I am a realtor, a real estate investor. My company is called B Premier Ventures, where we buy and beautify. So I purchase distressed properties and flip for a profit. So had to be here tonight and back with my girls. I miss you guys. I miss you all. I missed last session, so I miss you guys. I'm hugging you right now. I'm hugging you.
Hugging you right back. Next up, can we go to you, Sacagawea? I feel like I spent the night with you because I was with you on Saturday. But
exactly, right? We were still a lot of time together. So I'm Sacagawea Fanning, CEO and founder of Fanning Financial Group, LLC. I just love helping people, get back on strong financial footing, building a blueprint so they can hit their financial goals, also leave legacy behind for their family members, as well as look into setting themselves up for retirement. You can never talk too soon or too late when it comes to your retirement and your well-being financially. So I just always love helping people see, how they can improve financially, get some goals. If they don't have to be big ones, just start somewhere so you can start improving your situation.
Absolutely. And then we have none other than my Be More sis, Shanae Robinson.
Hey guys, hey. I want to say, first of all, Happy New You, because after the last year, after the previous year, I'm no longer rooting for the year. I'm rooting for the person. So Happy New You. Please, use this year to look back on, what transpired in your life and everything, how you can make improvements and everything, because everything should be used as a lesson. And so I am the professional credit diva. And what I'm focusing on now for my clients, as well for myself and my businesses, is to see how we can use credit to build wealth, to build a legacy, to build towards your retirement, to estate plan, and whereas though when things hit us from the unknown, we're still able to bounce back really quickly if we have to bounce back at all.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I got my girls with me today, and I love Money Making Mondays because I'm not the expert of this. They are. So I get to chime in and start trouble and ask questions and let them show their brilliance. So the topic for today, again, purposely wanted to have a play on words of everything that's going on, because we cannot escape it. Those of you who look at the news, I don't look at the news, but those of you who look at the news, I'm seeing it on the internet, all across social media, just a disgrace. But we want to play with it on words, but then just as it is in that bigger, that macro situation, whereas it's an inside job when it's accounting for us as the United States as a whole. But what about when we look at it from a micro level, us individually? So many times people will be blaming someone else. It's their fault, it's her fault, it's his fault. But some of the time, it's your fault. It's your fault. So we want to talk about that. And so I know I started going off and everything before I started introducing you all, but let's have some dialogue about like what's going on in the world, and then we'll transition it from a financial standpoint. So one thing I'll say, it was hilarious as I was going through and sending you all over the subtitles, because I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And then I was like, Pookie. I was like, Janice. So this is an insider. But Janice, bring Pookie on the show. This would be perfectly lined up. So let's go and I want to hear your views and your thoughts on all of this. The only thing that I can say is craziness. I'm still in shock. Like, for real. Like, the capital of the United States. That's gangster. Yeah. That's like criminally gangster, and like you don't care.
It's a lack of respect. Mm-hmm. It's total lack of respect. And like for me, it all began when, I don't know if I said it before, but like when Sarah Palin ran for vice presidency, like it just became a big mockery, in my opinion, then, that, you know, we were the laughing stock because of the things that, you know, she said or did or didn't do or didn't understand. And it's like, it's been like snowballing ever since. And and that thing that's in the office now, it's just like, he just took it to a whole nother level. For him, it was just a big joke. Like, he has no respect for the presidency, for the office, for what it upholds, you know, or anything like that. And like you said, the United States has been a laughing stock for the last 12 years to a degree, because that's when, you know, it first happened, you know, with Sarah Palin and everything. And it's disheartening, because this is supposed to be the land that everybody, you know, wants to come to and things like that. But, you know, we had people talk about, listen, I'm going to Canada, I'm going here, I'm going there. And I mean, it was even to the point with me, like I said, you know, if he wins again, I'm like going to Mars, because it's just like, it's unbelievable. And then not only is it unbelievable, but it's unbelievable for the United States, for the average person, but for a Black person, for us, it's unbelievable. And then, you know, not only just being a Black person, but being a Black woman, it's like disheartening. Like, my heart aches also for my son, who is a young Black male. Like, I worry about him. Like, you know, what's going to happen? Is he going to be targeted, you know, for whatever, because he had on a hoodie, or because he had bubble gum or a toy gun or what have you? Like, it's just so sad. It's like, you know, no rest whatsoever for us.
Yeah. And before we go to the next one, so yes, in terms of us as Blacks, it reminded us that we're Black, right? No matter where we live, no matter what we drive, where we work, what we do, or how our status. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter from the biggest to the lowest or whatever. It reminds all of us that we're Black. The other thing is, and I'm not Caucasian, so I cannot speak for them, but the engagement from some of my white friends, they knew of racism, but they had no idea to the magnitude of the blatantness. And I think that it made them or had them to begin to think about their privilege, their white privilege, that they really
took for granted.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And now it's like, okay, we see this is going on and we know this is wrong, but I don't want to be treated like the Black person. So what do I do? So that gets so complex as we go into diving into that. But yes, it reminds us that we're Black. That we're Black. It don't matter if you're rich. Your money don't matter right now. Your money don't matter right now.
I tell you, what's so go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
My thing was, because I was on the Hill for a year. I was a fellow on the Hill. So to me, it was even scarier because I remember being in the office. Like I was under Congresswoman Elizabeth Esty from 5th District in Connecticut. And it was 3 doors to enter the office. One door we already had blocked by the copier. So it was the main door and then her private entrance. So literally in my mind, I started thinking about if we were in that situation, we would literally have to go and barricade the door with the furniture that was inside. So it's no way out. When you're in that office, that's it. Like you're stuck like Chuck, and we were on like the 3rd floor. So if it had happened, we were at the back end of the hallway. So literally we would have had to just sit there and wait it out. There was no way of escaping. People don't realize, like when you go on Capitol Hill, right? Either on the Senate side or you're on the House side. Those offices are old offices. So it's one way in, one way out. So literally when I saw the stories, it was like when they went in Pelosi's office, right? Her staff members were still there. They were hiding and barricading themselves under a table for 2.5 hours till those people left. So it's like, it's not just, it was just scary to think that could have happened at any time, and it's like, I felt bad for the people who do work there because you really don't have that many places to go. And on the House floor where they were and on the Senate floor, it's only a couple of ways in and out. So they had to barricade themselves in and everything just to be protected. And going through those tunnels, it is some escape routes, but if they're blocked and you can't get to it, you're trapped. And the other thing I was thinking about is like people, I saw, Facebook, comments, and people are only thinking about it of like, it's some people out there who are saying, well, it's our house anyway, because we're the people. No, you don't understand. People crazy.
That's ignorance on a whole other level right there.
Right. If right. Come in to my house saying it's my house, I own it.
Yeah, it's a whole nother level. People don't understand how we represent ourselves to the world. I was also in the military and I worked with foreign governments when I was in the military. I was like supervisors of foreign civilian government employees. These people look at us at a very, very high caliber. It's like we're the standard, we're the example. So when things like this happen, it's not just, it's just a little skirmish and everything. No, the world is looking at us because we lead by example. Unfortunately, we have a responsibility and we have a role as a leader in the world, not just what goes on. And like you were saying, Shanae, the president, he is so single, limited minded. He has no idea how big a purpose it really is. That office doesn't just represent this land of the United States of America. You're a leader of the world, and people look to you to be the example. So when stuff like this happens, it has catastrophic effects. Like you were saying, Ladrine, it's like our enemies see a weakness. They were even saying about computer and laptops and things were stolen. Those people you have intel committees, you have intelligence reports that are on some of those computers possibly. And people went in and stealing it like everyday criminals. But to me, I'm so glad that the media is labeling them. They are domestic terrorists. And guess what? A lot of them have been put on the no-fly list, like they should be, being arrested and being charged, because this is no place for people to be acting like they crazy like that. I mean, what was the point? He lost an election. Get over it. Nobody was doing all that crazy stuff in 2016 when he won. So why are you acting like you crazy in 2020? I mean, come on, man. They got me.
You know, it's just so for me, my it's very disheartening to when I think about the future generations, and I think about my grandkids and their kids and things of that nature, and just to be, I mean, I never would have thought that I would be living in a time like this to witness such catastrophic actions by the United States, the president of the United States. I mean, we're supposed to be the free world in a sense. And the thing that I don't really understand is there had to be intelligence knowing about these possibilities of, you know, these actions and things coming about. Yeah. If we as Black Lives Matter have peaceful protests, but we are surrounded by guards and tear gas and you know, rubber bullets and all these things, but we're just protesting and speaking peacefully. Why is it that they cannot prepare for these backward, uneducated Caucasians?
Go ahead, please say it.
I'll say it. Yeah. Why could we not prepare for them knowing what they were going to do? And he's brought out he's such a narcissistic, and he should have never been president to begin with. I mean, it's all reality television in his world, to the point whereas the Republican Party, you know, they, in my opinion, you know, have been dismantled, and it's going to be a while before they can really get their reputation back, because he represents them, and you still have some that's in Congress and the Senate that's supporting even after the fact.
Yes, ma'am.
How ludicrous is that? It's just, I don't know. I get my heart just, I consume, if I watch too much news, to be honest with you guys, and that's one of the things that I need to stop for myself, because I'm constantly either on my cell phone or I have the television on and I'm hearing all this, and it just makes my heart just bleed for the future generations, because we are supposed to be the free world and we look like total idiots to all these other countries. And it's really sad.
Janae was raising her hand. You want to say
only because what's disheartening is all of them are not backwoods folk. They are CEOs of companies.
Yes, they're coming out of the woodworks. You're right.
Hold your livelihood in their hands. I mean, we could be working for some of them, and everything. It's like I said, it's a
could be your neighbors. They could be your neighbors,
right? Yeah. And you find out, and the way that I've chosen, in a sense, I guess, to like look at it, is that it's in a sense like unveiling of sorts. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like we as Black people, we know that racism has gone on, you know, forever and ever and ever. You know, but it's like the people that say, you know, oh no, I would never, oh no, I'm not, or, you know, it's like they're being unveiled or whatever, and like it's a cleansing, you know, to a degree. And, you know, like I tell people, you know, they didn't come over and take slaves. They took kings and queens and, you know, physicists, and, you know, they took intelligent people. My only question is, when do we get our royalty back or our legacy back? Like it's like it's a pain in the you know what, to a degree, because we know where we are in history. We know that we created this, we created that. Yeah, they took credit for it and things of that matter, but it's like frustrating, you know what I'm saying, to a degree, because it's like, I am a queen, I am royalty. You understand what I'm saying? And like they said, it's not about we want them to be shot like they shoot us or whatever. We want to not be shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, this land was our land. You know what I'm saying? Like, we taught, and it was like my great-grandmother. I grew up in a house with my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather. And the amount of privilege that they think they have is just crazy to me, because My great grandmother, she prepared the meal for a whole Caucasian family, a whole white family that was homeless, that didn't have anything. And do you know what she said to my great grandmother? Instead of saying thank you, she was like, you know what, Miss B, when I get on my feet, I'ma hire you. What? It's like unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? It's like so frustrating, and like everybody can't be blamed. Like, you can't blame an entire race. But I'm sorry, like, it's the side eye for me. Like,
so I can definitely understand like where you coming from in that standpoint. Because we hear of stories that our ancestors have gone through. We ourselves have witnessed some things and have gone through some different things, right? But it's a mindset on both sides of the fence. And just like as Janice said, like, I definitely agree with you. Like, I woke up this morning with a whole lot of different negative feelings. I mean, of course, some have to do with me just losing my mom. Some have to do with me dealing with my sister and her illness. But like, a part of it was this, and it's yes. And I'm not being naive or not saying anything in terms of the racism. The racism exists. I have experienced it myself. When I looked at this again, I look at it from this whole macro level. Like, yes, to what Janice was saying, they looked at the the Black Lives Matters movement differently, and Trump and whomever else decided to make it. Well, it's not only him, because it's been like a negative thing in terms of how people saying. But then there were some Caucasians who were supporting it, rather understanding, or rather them finding their feet footing or whatever. No judgment. I don't know. I can't think for them. But then when you go and you look at what happened and what's happening through this, the majority of them were Caucasian, and no, it's a major crime. Like, Black Lives Matter, one party can say and have their opinion, and the other can have their opinion. When there's no question. It is a federal crime. But yes, you at East handling people when you doing this type of thing, that right there was disheartening to me. But the other thing was that what they were doing was not, while the stemming of it may have come from Donald Trump being a racist, the stemming of it and the people who were impacted and the people that they charged, that they were not all Black, they were Congress. So yes. And that's a whole different topic when we're talking about, that, because it's our stories that we heard and the things that we experienced. We're the sum of our total experiences, and can't nobody take that away from us. The same thing with them. Little kids were not just thinking and coming out saying, "Oh, I'm better than a Black person." So
they were taught.
The thing of it is like understanding, and I'm not a therapist and I'm not in everybody's mind, but like, I have been really stepping back and looking at this from all different angles. And I tell you, like, this right here really, really hurts. It hurts as a nation for all of the reasons that all about us said. It's an embarrassment. They take politics and Congress and everything as a joke. I might run next year. No, I'm playing. But it is like you don't have to qualify anymore. You just have to be able to raise a certain amount of money, line up people behind you. It's becoming like a joke, and it's a sad thing. And to watch all that is going on, very unrest. Our
president, if I just can say, he has basically the president, because he's not my president. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't care, but the president. He has set us back to, the 60s, where they treated us like savages, March on Washington, things of that nature, Selma, Alabama, just all over. Whereas you had Caucasians that were for the cause, but they were mutilated as well in the South. And it's just as if he is actually the gentleman with the white hood over his head, actually in office right now. That's where we are. And it's really sad and disheartening for me, again, because of the fact that I have to live with the fact that my children's and so forth generations are going to be subjected even more so, because it's going to take such a long time to really have dialogues and get back to some sort of normalcy, even with race relations. I have plenty of friends that I grew up with, colleagues that I've worked with, that I love dearly, that are white. And I know those individuals, and I know them very well, are disheartened as well for what has happened, and they are embarrassed for their race. But it's just really sad to just know that we've taken such a step backwards, and how long that it's going to take to just get everything back together, from race relations to getting over this pandemic to, just, it's really bad. It's really sad. And my prayer is that, hopefully it can take shape, and perhaps with our new administration coming in, that can be a start. But it will take, I say, a long time after that. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's going to take a while. Even like the respect level in Congress and the different things that they do. Even like some time ago when somebody had thrown a shoe, or like the current president would be like, "Shut up," or "No, you're mean," or I mean, like little teeny things like that. It just has like you said, it has set it back. It has set, like, everything just seemed like, okay, come on, y'all, we gotta get going. And every time it seemed like, it's like, okay, we get a fresh start, let's go, something ridiculous comes up. I mean, it's only like a couple days before the new administration comes in. We already have to, like, especially working for the federal government, we go through a whole transition, right? The world goes through that as well. So it's already enough with going through that, but it's just like, oh my God, I'm serious. I feel so disheartened about the current situation and the things that are going on. And I just pray that collectively that everybody comes together. You know what I mean? Comes together. And I know it's a big hope and a big dream, and I feel like Dr. Martin Luther King all over again, but it's just I see. It's just sad. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, everything, when I woke up this morning, everything that was negative or whatever that's going on, I thought about it, and it put weight on me. It put weight on me. Like, I couldn't even function and go through. So I hope that things transition, because this is not for me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's not for anybody, but I have strength in certain areas, but like, this has like really been taking its toll. So, ladies, shall we transition and talk about financial and any we have some comments. Cynthia Johnson has been commenting a lot, so thank you so much for your comment. The last one, I don't think it was a step backwards, but more of uncovering what was simmering in the pot. So I hear you in terms of uncovering it, and I think a lot of that was done even when President Trump was first elected.
Yep.
However, I do see, in my opinion, I do see some stepping back, because it's the blatant, outwardly disrespect, like the disrespect from back in the day. Along the way, some people will be more hesitant of not to do so as much. And now I think that having it seen and blatantly, like we have seen it build up that, but I hear what you're saying. And in some areas, in some ways, I definitely agree with you in terms of the exposure. But I agree with Janice in terms of setting back. And if you look at it in a certain perspective. So, yeah. Peeling onions, my late grandmother's term, absolutely. It showed they are all about lining their pockets. Yeah. Local terrorists. Yeah. So any comments before we transition the topic? So we want to talk about this. So just how you look at it from that standpoint of us hurting us, because at the end of the day, we are the United States of America. We are citizens of the United States of America. So unfortunately, we're us. So it's us hurting us. So we want to talk about this. It is Monday, Money Monkey Monday. We want to talk about this from a financial standpoint and get you to look at a couple things where it may not be them. It may be you hurting yourself with some of the things that you're doing. And we're going along with the very same topics and the very same titles. So first up, Shanae. So don't abuse your power. So we were talking about like the President Trump and everybody else abusing their power. But let's talk about it from a credit standpoint. Don't abuse your power. What do you have to share?
Well, what I want to say is that no matter what we're going through, how long, we're going to go through, we don't know when we're going to bounce back or recover from, different aspects or anything like that. That's the same way I want you to look at, your finances. Like, don't just go to the point where as though, well, this forbearance is going to go on forever. They're going to keep extending, my being able to pay, late or whatever, as long as the pandemic is going on or anything like that. So you want to take hold of your finances. You want to take hold of your credit. And as I stated in the beginning, if you're able to make your payments, then definitely do so and do them on time. If it is something where as though you're still displaced or, still suffering from, the pandemic and everything, make sure that you still stay in contact with your creditors to let them know, because you may be out of work, because you may have, tested positive, or somebody in your family may have tested positive, and you may not be at a place where as though, you can quarantine and work from home. You may have to physically go in. So you definitely want to keep your creditors aware of, what's going on and everything else. Don't just assume that they know, well, the pandemic is going on, so, that's why my credit card hasn't been paid. That's why this is jacked up, or, whatever, because the tow trucks are still working during the pandemic. They will come and repossess, and, they will still charge you, interest and late fees and everything else during this pandemic if you have not communicated with them. And so sometimes during like a situation like this, you want to over communicate. You want to document who you talk to, operator 456 on this day at this time. You want to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row, because we are still able to purchase homes, still able to purchase cars, and still get approved for loans and still get approved for credit cards. So the world is still functioning. The world is still, happening on a micro sense, as far as like the whole world and everything. So things are still, to a sense, business as usual. Your credit rating is still being calculated every 30 days. That interest is still being calculated. You still have those bills due. So you don't want to sit back and during this time or anything, especially now, when you can build, when you can still do, because you may have a few extra dollars coming in, because of the stimulus. You may have a few extra dollars, or you may have qualified, for the assistance with your business, or, if you are out of work with, the unemployment and things of that nature, whereas though you are still able to keep up on your bills and you're at least able to pay your minimums, whereas though even if your credit score isn't rising, at least it's not falling. Because at the end of the day, when we are able to recover 100%, whenever that may be, your credit score is still going to play a major part. It's still the scoring system of these great United States. So you definitely want to still, be responsible and make sure that, you have your ducks in a row, and, you're not, just sitting back, being, I guess, negligent or, anything like that. You definitely still want to take a role in your finances, and there are things that you can still do to make sure that, your credit score does not suffer in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. And so, with that being said, I'm going to ask you the same question, Saka Jawea.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I agree with you 100%. Communication is key and everything like that. And another thing too is just try to, hopefully, since people have been in COVID and on lockdown, they've been doing hopefully a better job of budgeting what they do have. You know, you have your little bits of money coming in, but really try to, you know, stretch it as much as you can. Especially, I know some people, you know, how you have the moratorium on rents and mortgage payments and everything like that. And I think they're looking to extend that with the new administration because they know it's going to take some time. So one key thing is, you know, all this craziness, you know, now when we do have a new administration coming in on January 20th, we're going to have the Democrats will have control of the White House, the House, and the Senate. Thank goodness. So hopefully some things will be able to get through a little faster and everything like that to help people get on their feet. But yes, credit is huge and people really need to, you know, take a look at it because I hope people haven't taken this time to think of it as, okay, since I wasn't paying attention to it anyway, I can continue to do that. No, this is a great time to look at it, see what's going on and understand how your credit works too. Get some education on how credit works if you don't know it. It's so many websites and, you know, you can talk to our credit diva, Miss Shanae, you know, Robinson. So, you know, make sure you understanding what's going on and then just kind of like budget things out, you know, make that. For me, I'm all about writing things down. And a lot of people, I think you try to keep things in your head and you lose track. So you go and you spend, you know, a little money here, a little money there, a little money over here, you're losing track. So make sure you're keeping like a little ledger going of things that the must pay bills that you have to do. So, you know, those shoes in that purse is not a must have. I'm just want to let everybody know. So, you know, your things you have to pay, your utilities, you want to make sure you have somewhere to stay and you got food to eat and have some type of transportation if you need it. So make sure you're just logging down your expenses, you know, how much income you do have coming in. And then, yeah, if you do have to do it and, you know, hold off on paying some type of bills, like Shanae is saying, communicate with them. Maybe they can set up a payment plan for you or something like that, where you don't get so, you know, over your head or over, you know, just get overwhelmed with how much debt you have going on, that you're able to do that. Because like I had one client reach out to me and she was like, she had gotten behind on some things because unexpected expenses, like her car, she needed car repair and a couple of other things. And I was like, hey, one good thing, you know, maybe you can, if you have a credit union. Sometimes credit unions are really good at, like, if you've built a relationship with them, seeing how they can help you with a temporary loan or something like that to kind of get you back on your feet. But just make sure you're thinking about these things and not putting them off and not putting your head in the sand and pretending like they don't exist. No, you need to have some type of plan in place where you're taking little bits at a time or, you know, ensuring that you're able to do something. So that's another thing too, you know, people. And another thing too that I'm seeing on like emails and things online, these stores, man, are coming people, they thirsty. So they putting all these sales out there. They're coming after people. Like, you know, used to, you just have your Black Friday and your, you know, your New Year sales. And they having Tuesday sales and Friday sales. They're doing whatever they need to do to grow, you know, bring people in. Don't get wrapped in that thing. Oh, that's 50% off. It's a good deal. If you don't need it, don't buy it. What you gonna buy it for? So it can just sit up in your house so you can't go nowhere. Right. So you can't travel. So why you up there booking deals? Like I'm going to, like, you know, some country. They may not even let us in after, you know, especially after what happened Wednesday. We may be locked down ourselves because don't nobody want us coming up in their country because they think we're gonna act a fool.
That's right. That's right. We're on lockdown even when the pandemic is over. You know,
I know. Where you from? Oh no. Denied. So it's like, let's just, you know, that money you're not spending on vacation, put it in your savings or try to pay down whatever debts and bills that you have. So that's a good thing too. You know, just seeing what you can do with the money you have for right now. So yeah.
So y'all over here talking about Donald Trump, y'all got my line all shut down and everything that's going on. I was like,
Yeah, I saw you like poof away and I was like, what happened?
Right. I was like, let me get off of my computer. Something was going on, but it was having Saturday, but no. But great dialogue, great discussion as everything was going. And one thing I wanted to circle back onto what Shanae was saying about credit. In terms of power, like don't utilize your entire credit line.
No.
Like on going shopping, like, I mean, I'm guilty. Like every day between me and my daughter, a packet is arriving on the porch.
See, I was just talking about that. All these sales and stuff. I was just talking about that. Look.
I'm very mindful. Like I'm staying within my budget with it, but then also paying attention to like what other things could I be doing with that money and all of those other things. So I hear you. Trust me. Y'all are always on me. So I get it and I understand that part. So definitely. So yes, and the whole aspect of just paying attention and having control of what you're doing, it definitely touches upon that standpoint. So yep. So Janice?
Yes. So basically, all good information for tonight, ladies. One of the things that we definitely, and I have to be a testament to this myself, is the mindset and definitely staying focused. Don't let disturbing situations or distractions just be the death of whatever goals or projects that you may have. And for me, that hits home so greatly, because in the last couple of weeks, I had a situation where, it could have went totally a disaster, but I had to, and I lost it. I really, truly did, to the point where, anger was coming in and Janice from maybe about 25 years ago, that's not as, conservative now and praising the Lord, she wasn't doing that back then. She came back and it was just a lot, but I had to like really just take a moment and just, okay, let me just take a breather, strategically think this thing through and stay on the plan. Because, just stay the course. You haven't gotten this far, Janice, to the point whereas it's going to be a disaster. It's just a little temporary setback, just a little nudge that doesn't feel too great, because you like everything going perfect, but everything's not perfect. And once I had that little self-talk with myself, everything went back to flow, and my project was completed.
Yay.
And I got a contract in 4 days on it, y'all. So
Congratulations.
But again, the mindset and staying focused is very, very critical during this time frame. One of the things that really bothers me, that I'm very concerned with for consumers, is this forbearance issue.
Right.
Whereas the banks were very freely to give the forbearances out. And if you were able to make your mortgage payments and you did not need that forbearance, so many people should not have taken it. They took it, and because some folks really don't understand that that's not putting those payments on the back end of mortgages. Once that time frame is up, that whole amount is due. So I have such a great fear for a lot of people, whereas the housing market, yes, it's a great time, to purchase. The interest rates are great and things of that nature. But when these forbearance terms are due, it's going to be another wave of foreclosures.
Right.
People are going to lose their homes because they did not strategically think things through. They perhaps thought that they were taking and getting ahead by taking advantage of this, forbearance, may have extra monies here and there, and I can do this and I can do that with it, but that's not going to be the case. So I feel like, again, the mindset of staying focused with whatever you have to do or whatever you're planning to do, your goals that you may have implemented or thought about in 2020, 2021's, just stay on the course with that. It's just very, very, very important. And again, being an investor, being on the investor side, sure, when those foreclosures come into play, that's a great opportunity for investors. But I am human and I feel for people first and foremost. Not so much as how I make my money, but I feel, and I feel for the hearts of individuals, and a lot of homes are going to be lost, and that's not a great situation. It's not a great situation at all. So the mindset has a huge factor in what we're facing today, and staying positive with that, even with budgeting, you got to stay focused. You got to stay on task. Revitalizing your credit, not using it so much. I have to make sure I be mindful of that as well. I mean, I just ordered like 8 candles because they were half off. Did I need all those candles? No, I didn't. So I got to watch that. I got to watch that even myself.
I mean, they'll last throughout the year. It's not like you're wasting money. Like, so I think
I did it 3 times, the dream, 3 times. So that's like 8 times 3.
Okay.
I don't need that now, but it was because it was a sale.
Yeah, but one of the things that really
coming after you, the sales are out there.
Right. One of the things that stood out for me, like with this topic, also is not losing focus of your goal. Even in your situation, Janice, how even though you were sidetracked by some issues that came up, and that got to you, right? You were like, oh my God, that morning. But then everybody talked you off the ledge. You talked yourself off the ledge, and then focus on what happened. And you were able to close in like 4 days. Like that was the whole thing. The whole point for me is keeping your eyes on the goal, staying focused on the goal, because when you get distracted by those other things, you will begin to lose focus. And that's in so many different things and so many things that are going on. And the other thing is that we have to also look for outlets and look for ways to help us to get through some things. So a couple pictures that I had sent over to the studio, if they can cue those up. One of the things was first, it was with Cheryl Wood and them. So even throughout everything that was going on and all that's going on with me, like Jesus, I really don't even know other than God in terms of how I'm standing, right? But you have to find outlets, right? And you have to figure out different ways to get through it, and don't harm yourself by suffering alone or by staying in. So make sure it's not an inside job. So one of the things I did was with Cheryl now, we got gangster and we played, although it was like heels and hoodies, we played with like set it off and did like silly pictures, but I pulled out. And so that was just to share my favorite pictures. But then one other thing, this weekend, so in the middle of everything that's going on, in the middle of not sleeping, in the middle of worrying about my sister, I talked to one of my friends who just so happened to be on the line, Katrina. We call her Stink. But her granddaughter was on the phone, y'all. 8 years old. I'm going to bring her on the show. But she blessed me like crazy because God will give you everything you need, but her maturity level. So we're talking. So first she's like, I want to practice my singing because I want to be a singer. So in order to be great, I got to practice. I'm like, you know me. I'm like, okay. And then she goes on and she says, start talking about her goals from last year. I'm like, what? And then she said, do you have goals? Girl, I'm like, yes, I have goals. I set my goals in December, then in June. She was like, what? Girl, we had a whole conversation. But the piece that I really wanted to bring about with that, and they'll show her picture. But the thing that I wanted to bring up about that is when her grandmother told her that my mom passed and that my sister was in a hospital, she prayed for us. And she was like, we're going to get flowers and just stuff to decorate your mom's grave and to pray. But you don't even know like the level of peace that got me. I called her grandmother the next day. Was like, can I speak to her? She wasn't available, but it was the funny thing. And the last point I'll make about it is with me and my friends, I'm always the last one standing. Like they'll always get sleepy and fall asleep. She was up, ready to go. It was like 1:00. And I was like, I got to get up in the morning because I'm seeing a whole event. I got to go. But just to say that don't suffer alone with anything that you're going through. And even like strong, because when people were asking me, when I tell them that I'm fine, like I'm seriously telling them like how I feel. And like this morning, I had a really rough day. And my girls, you, Sinead, Sacagawea, Janice, all three of you all, I reached out to you and was like, I'm not having a good day today. So the encouragement and the prayers and all of that So once I took a nap, I couldn't work, so I, took leave. And once I took a nap and woke up, the prayers and everything, it really helped. So definitely don't make it an inside job. I could have been like, oh my goodness, woe was me. And it was so funny because Janice, when you called, you were like checking, like, are you okay? And I'm like, girl, I'm okay. I know you heard my voice. Like, I need to get ready for the show. I need to do stuff. You like, okay, I'm just trying to check on you. But it's that thing of knowing your body and letting it do what it needs to do as you go along. So that's another tip on that, and I definitely wanted to shout out Amari, because she blessed my entire soul, and she don't even know. Like, now I got another little teeny prayer warrior. But like in closing, like any other things that you all determined, because this was a play on words with what was going on in the capital, but it also was we can relate it to, as we did with budget and finances, right? But there's so many other things that you can relate it to in your life overall. So haters and all of that other stuff, like when you're adding up haters, you got to take a look and do inventory. And if you are the cause of doing something to yourself, don't forget to include you. Don't forget to include you, because there are serenity prayer. There are a lot of things that we can't change and a lot of things that we can't do. And you're supposed to feel what you feel, right? But come on now. It's some things that we have control over. And when we're cognizant of, and when we let it feel, like, don't fight a feeling, let it go through, because, like, that leads to depression. Don't suffer alone. That leads to depression. So, yeah, it was really to shout out Amari, and also to share the fun things that, yes, I'm going through, but I'm trying to balance it out because I'm not. That's not my personality, and that it won't suit me well at all. So when I say I'm okay for real. When I'm not okay, I reach out to individuals or whoever may text me or whatever's going on. So very appreciative of my village. And so funny that I was a true introvert before. If I was an introvert now, like, Lord have mercy. So God,
see, I can't really understand when you say that you were an introvert. I'm like,
You can ask. So those who are on the feed that know me as a young child, so my energy level throws people off, because my energy level has always been what it is. But I will always seclude to a room and draw and write stuff. Like, for me, I get a kick out of that. So it's because of my energy when I'm around people and laughing and playing that people cannot understand it. But I am a true introvert. Like, the beginning of COVID did nothing to me. It didn't bother me. It didn't owe me anything at all. I was good. And because, like, I had talked about that until November. Like, even for my birthday, I had a party. It was virtual, but I had a party. So it was, all of those things, I just found ways to go around it. And it never was like, woe is me. I was blessed. I didn't lose my job. I didn't, my business was booming. I found time. But yeah, so I'm a true introvert, but going through this, I don't think that I would have been able to survive as an introvert. So I truly think, everyone who's in my circle and who allows it and don't overdo it, or like the things of like, you're gonna be sad, oh, don't do that. Like, yeah. It's just that whole aspect. So I'll let you all do your closing remarks, but one of the things, because we skipped the commercial, so I wanted to make sure that I pointed out that we have an author call. So we're still looking for individuals who have gone through the loss of their mother. And we're working with Shiro Publishing Company. I'm so excited about all the various things and the packages that they offer. So if you all are interested in being a part of this book project as a co-author, the commitment is $729. And there's a list of the various things, but reach out to me. I'll make sure I put out information in the feed But please, it's going to be a great project, not just a book project, but something that we're going to be able to connect and help heal together, because I know that I need it. And then the other thing is the devotional book that I'm a part of Seasons Blossoming, and pre-orders posted within the next day or so. So yes, ladies, closing remarks. Please let everyone know your social media information and any closing remarks regarding the first half of the show or from a financial standpoint. Janice, let's start with you.
Well, again, happy 2021 to everyone. Just want to let everyone know that, just stay focused on your journey. We'll definitely get through these troublesome time frames. Your goals, don't set them aside. They're still going to be implemented. Just stay the course. Just stay the course. You can reach me on IG at Janice Bowles. You can reach me on Facebook at Janice Bowles. Again, my business is B Premier Ventures. I am a real estate investor and a licensed realtor, but I would love to, if you have any goals with regards to how to start with investing in real estate, definitely reach out to me. We can do a consult, and I'll put in the feed my website address where you can sign up, and we can definitely have a chat. But I love real estate. I love all things real estate. I love helping and sharing knowledge with generational wealth, and creating that through real estate. I firmly believe that real estate is definitely the quickest way to financial gain as far as generational wealth and consuming that. I'm a testament coming from the inner city projects of West Palm Beach, Florida, and just having a vision from a little girl, because my parents didn't own their own home, to the point of, learning and going through some trials and tribulations. Yes, I had bad credit at one point. Yes, I had, almost to bankruptcy and all those things, but just going through the journey and the process to the point where I was able to navigate through, and I'm doing my passion, what I love, and that's all things real estate. So definitely reach out to me.
And she's very humble on the show. We call her Janice, aka Baller Bowles. Like I'm playing. I hadn't said that in a moment, but yeah, she got part. But yes, Sacagawea, how about you?
Yeah, so the main thing is, like I said, just keep track of what you're doing. I saw one comment, from Barbara Moore saying it was border. I think she was talking about the shopping, and it's okay. I'm not saying not shop at all, but just be very mindful of how much you're spending, and you're staying within a budget, that you're not overspending or overstretching yourself when it comes to those sales that are very attractive out there. Just know, hey, if you can do it, do it. If you can't, please be honest with yourself and distinguishing if you can do it or if you can't when it comes to making purchases that you may or may not need. But the main thing, like everyone is saying, stay focused, put that budget in writing, because that will help you so very much of being able to see the numbers on paper and seeing what you actually have to work with. And it'll make you feel better too, because you won't be stressing out so much knowing, wondering whether or not you can pay for this or pay for that. You have an idea of where you are.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. Yeah. I'm sorry. Putting it on paper. Perfect.
Yes. And so, I'm with Fanning Financial Group, LLC. So I have Facebook page, as well as on Instagram, it's at Sacagawea. So, you reach out to me, and, feel free to message me if you need any help, because it's confidential. It's a free consultation for anyone who wants to do any help. And also, some of my sessions are really like coaching sessions. Hey, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. We all have financial baggage, and we can all let it go. So don't feel like your situation is impossible. Like I always say, financial situations are always temporary, and it's a way out. So, yeah.
And huge shout out again to Sacagawea for the conference this weekend. Being a panelist, like your answers, your responses, your information, you were sincerely on fire. So keep doing what you're doing. You really did an outstanding job. So glad to have you as a co-host.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Shanae Robinson.
So I just want to leave you guys with just knowing that credit is definitely power. And it's like once you get a taste of it, you definitely want to savor it. So do whatever you need to do that, once you reach that level of fair to good to excellent credit, do whatever you need to do honestly to keep it. Because credit can take you so many places that, cash cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And although cash is king, and some things that you need to pay with cash, but although cash is king, credit is definitely power. Money talks, but credit definitely carries a conversation. And I'm into conversations now. And part of my conversation actually includes a 30-minute complimentary consultation with any and everyone that has any question about what their credit report is saying about them, because your credit report is actually a story. And so if you don't understand that story of your life that's being narrated by the big three credit reporting agencies, I can definitely help you to understand. And all you have to do is just text your first name along with the words 30-minute complimentary consultation to 443-973-7555. And I will also put that in the chat. But let's just have a conversation to see if you're on the right track, how far you're off of the track, what you need to get, to get to where you want to be. And it could be you don't even really need my services. You just need a little bit of consult or, direction, and you can take the ball and run. My goal is for everyone that I come into contact with to leave me with a 750 or higher credit score, because I want you to be able to do the things that you not only need to do, but the things that you have to do and the things that you want to do. And credit can definitely play a big role in that if you use it responsibly.
Absolutely. And Shanae she always brings the information and gives you the truth. So that you can figure out all of the different companies. They tell you different information to get you to lock into various things, but she teaches you and she shows you how to get your credit better so that you can get everything going. So y'all see our lineup, right? You go to Shanae, you get your credit straight. Then you go to Sakajawi, she help you with your financial spending plan. Then you go to Janice when you're ready to invest. So I say that all jokingly, but in sincerity, I love the lineup. I have learned so much from this show. So this is our first Money Making Monday of the year, and excited. Can't wait for the next one. So thank you all, ladies. As always, next week is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, the celebration of it. And I'm trying to get all of my youth entrepreneurs coordinated and bringing them back on. It's always a joy to have them, the young kids, to come on and talk about their businesses and what they're doing, their profitable businesses and what they're doing. So I'm looking forward to having that one organized and everything that's going on. So thank you all so very much. And guess what? Share our information. Make sure you follow us. So on all platforms for the show, it's Let's Do It Talk Show. For 2021, that's going to be our focus. So we were just like getting the show and doing information. Our focus is to really build up our followers and build up our platform, because the information that we share is so valuable. But because we do it on an everyday, we have been taking it a little loosely. So share with your friends. Make sure that you share the information. And I'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.